So where do we go from here? What exactly should we be thinking about? What exactly should we be talking about? If at all, we shouldn't just be complaining about the problem, talking about things that are not happening. What exactly should we be thinking about? Where do we go from it? The first thing is we have to, it's all start from us. And that isn't why just taking the cue from Abolade, taking the cue from Isa, taking the cue from Chukwuka, it begins from you. It begins from me. I need to begin to discover what my purpose is. I need to begin to discover myself. I need to begin to increase on the level of my competence, increase on the level of my capability. It's unfortunate that despite the not too young to run bill that was passed, and we have few youths who had been opportunistically put in positions of power, are failing, reason because they don't have the competence and they've not grown the capability for them to be able to deliver. They don't even have purpose, so to speak. They don't really know what it is that they want to do with the power that's been given to them, with the resources that have been disposed to them. And that isn't why, or how will you explain someone all of his life, all he knows how to do is how to act, is how to develop movies and all that. And you are bringing such a person to come and be leading projects on road construction, to come and be leading projects on delivering electricity and power to communities. It doesn't work like that. Those are the things that you will not see in developed economies. So we have to start talking about meritocracy. We have to start talking about excellence. So, and of course, excellence starts from within. You must develop yourself so that when opportunity surfaces, you will not just only occupy the position, but you will meaningfully deliver results. The other thing is we need to volunteer. I've mentioned two critical, institutions owned by youth, founded by youth who are doing fantastic things in the communities in our nations. We can join these communities. We can join these initiatives. We can lend our selfless service, just like the way we all did when we were serving through NYC. Why must we stop it because we are no longer a COP member? We need to continue this. For instance, you can decide to join the community policing. I'm a member of what's called PCRC because I want to ensure that my community is safe. So we need to look at areas of our interest, because by the time you discover yourself, you know your competence, then you can now know where you need to lend your service, when you need to lend your skill without anybody paying you, in order for us to be able to, get to a point whereby whatever it is that we are doing in our different communities adds up to building a good nation. Then the other thing is you have to join advocacy group. We have a lot of silent advocacy group going on. Of course, I'm not talking about the Save Nigerian group and some of other advocacy groups which have now been politicized, but I'm talking about well-focused advocacy group. And if we can't even identify any, nothing stops us, even from this platform, in starting an advocacy group. Let's look at one of the nagging problems in this country. Is it about the economy? Is it about the agri sector? Is it about the electricity? We can start an advocacy on this problem and then see how to push an agenda in solving the problem, because we have ideas. We are creative enough to innovate solutions that will solve the problem, which our leaders who are clueless have not been able to provide solutions to over the years. So these are one of the things that we can do. And also we can plan to contest in 2023 elections. Thank God we have the bill that has been passed now. So nothing stops you and I to contest. Nothing stops us. So do you have a vision? Do you have what it takes to deliver solutions to all these problems in any capacity? You just need to start planning. 2023 is still, some people will say it's still very far away, but lo and behold, it's not, because as from next year, you'll be shocked. Already, some of these major political parties have started planning towards having their rallies and conventions. So you need to start doing your strategic planning towards, 2023 election. If you're going to contest, and if you're not going to contest, how are you going to lend your voice and become relevant in making decisions for these political parties, so that when they are picking candidates or when they are voting to pick who will be their candidates, you will be part of the process of electing the right candidates that will carry the flag of the party and ensure that we don't have that dilemma that we always have at the polling units each time we go to vote, of which will even retard some of us from not going to go and vote. So that narration has to change. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is you must relentlessly take actions. Having discovered what you are capable of doing, having understood what exactly your capacity is, we need to, because you can't just, it's just like someone who buys a car and lock up the car in the garage. Before you know what is happening, the car will start deteriorating. The car will, in fact, a car that you buy and you refuse to start, you will be shocked that one day when you get there to start it, it will not start. That's what happens to a lot of people's abilities. When you have inherent abilities that can bring about transformation within a community, within a society, and you are doing nothing about it, you'll be shocked that the day that you will call on that ability to come forth, you will discover that the ability is no longer there because you have not been servicing over the years. So you need to begin to do things that will promote your passion, things that will promote whatever it is that you are talking about. Just like as I'm passionate about the change and transformation in Nigeria, I'm talking about it now. If you have that similar passion too, what stops you from having platforms and even joining us every month when we have conversations like this, for us to lend our voices and be able to encourage and inspire ourselves in order for us to be able to begin to do what we can do. And of course, of which this is even one of the first things I would have loved us to do, signing petitions. Every problem in this country can begin from just mere doing petitions. We have legal experts among us who can help us and chat us through the course of ensuring that we petition all these problems and find a way through them. Petition the necessary organs, the necessary institutions, organizations that can help amplify our voice in order to get results and bring about the solution. So we need to do that. And of course, the Sorosoke movement is still in vogue. We know that it's not just all about the EndSARS protest. It birthed a revolution, it birthed a movement. And that's speaking up loud against every hues and hordes in our community continues. And it must not just stop even from this evening conversation. So I would like us to just simply do something. I would like us to take a poll. I would like us to just respond to this poll in the next 2 minutes. In the next 2 minutes, please just quickly take this survey before I open the platform for our host to bring in comments and also contributions and questions. In 2 minutes. Okay, I believe we have all voted. Have we all, filled the survey? Please, I would like you to just click on yes, yes, yes in the chat box. If you have filled the survey, just click on yes. Please just click on yes if you have done the survey. We have just 20 seconds before we end the poll. Five seconds. Okay, we're ending the poll. Okay. Just see the results. We have 75% of us who are in this conversation this evening. By the way, we have just about 23 participants. So out of us, 75% of us don't have voters card. Just 25% of us had voters card. And out of the 25% who has voters card, only 8% voted during the last election. 92% of us who are talking, who are here conversing today, did not vote during the last election. We were indifferent in bringing in Buhari to the seat of governance. And one of the optimism, which I'm going to go away with as an individual, as a patriotic Nigerian this evening, is the fact that 92% of us are saying that come 2023, I am going to vote. For me, that is a good way forward. 92 of us, regardless of what it's going to take, we are going to go to our polling unit from now and ensure that we vote our candidates. But let me throw this challenge to the 8% of people who are not going to vote. I would love to really know the reason why you don't want to vote. Is it because you are thinking of relocating out of Nigeria and think that whatever our problem is will not reach you wherever you are? No, don't forget that Nigeria will continue to be a small community of people who are bounded by love, regardless of our differences, regardless of our diversities, regardless of our different ethnic groups and all that. And another thing that is so striking to me is that 100, every one of us, all of us who are here this evening, said we are not going to contest in 2023. I would like us to have a rethink, because if at all we are trusting that things must change, the change has to begin from you. It has to begin from me. And 8% people say they're going to, they're okay, they're a member of a political party. 67% said they are not, and 25% said they are going to join. Thumbs up to those 25 people, 25%. Please encourage others to ensure that they look for, political party that drive their interests in order to join. So basically, I want us to see things from this perspective, that there is no way. A lot of us have put our hopes in those people that always find themselves in power, who are between the ages of 64 and above, who have been ruling us, as if they are the ones that will transform and change Nigeria. Transformation and change may never or will not come from them. It will come from you and I, because we are the one that holds the future of our country. It is you and I that knows where things are paining us and how we have innovated ways in order for us to deliver solutions to all these problems. Thank you.
Wow. That was a well delivered message, yeah? Thank you so much for that message. I know I've taken a lot of points from what you said, and I've gotten um, a few messages from people who are requesting to see to get the slides. I hope that were made available, sir. Now, from what you said, let me just give a quick recap for people that are just joining us tonight. So, basically, we started off by giving off the state of the country, the problems we have from the health sector to the educational sector to bad governance. Then we moved on to talk about the importance of youth involvement. We've seen it during the NYM, the NYSC. We've seen their involvement and how it is impacted. That shows the level of efficiency that comes with youth involvement. Now, also the last we discussed was how we can be the change, because it's not all about complaining. How we can be the change that we want, and you highlighted 4 key points, which was personal development, volunteering, planning to contest in 2023 elections and the coming ones, and also relentlessly taking actions. I have a lot of questions from just those 4 points. I have a lot of questions. I will need to stop sharing your screen, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have a lot of questions. Okay, so first, you said we should volunteer, and in your messages to volunteering, you said um, to do stuff for free. Now, if you look at Nigeria that we are all in, the government, there's so much unemployment, and most of the things that we see that are problems can in turn become ideas for us. So we are actually becoming opportunists, quote and unquote. So how do we encourage youths who see these things that could be done for free but still want to get paid for? How can we encourage them to volunteer for free in a place like Nigeria?
Thank you. Let me just use my personal story as a track line for as many people who are hearing me. I started my career path from volunteerism. Maybe that's why I'm passionate about, volunteering and doing community service. I remember the first job I picked after I came back from service. I did the job for about six months without collecting 1 naira. In fact, it got to a point that my parents had to call me. I was like, do you really understand what you're doing? A graduate, you know, with a professional competence, with a professional, by the way, I studied architecture, and for as many of us who knows what it means to have gone to study architecture in Nigerian school, you know that it is really, an endeavor. So I started by doing volunteer works, and it got to a point that the HR of that company got so interested in me, was like, who is this boy who keeps, I usually get to the office, despite I was paid nothing. I got to office every day, 6:30. And by the time I get to, because we had opportunity to internet and all that, I usually got there early in order for me to be able to learn on YouTube, in order for me to increase and do some certain level of personal development. So they were really encouraged. After 6 months, they gave me opportunity to become a staff. Usually, you're supposed to go through like another time of probation and all that, but automatic employment was what I was given. And of course, the story is for another day. So you can look into the lives of a lot of people who are doing so well in their career today. They will tell you their success story. It's not just because they had lucrative jobs from the outset, but because of the passion to deliver service, the passion to create value, because these are the critical things that we need to begin to imbibe in our consciousness in order for us to, instill in ourselves that spirit of optimism. It's unfortunate that the kind of youth tribes that we have today are people who want to make millions of naira just at the twinkle of an eye. They've not created any value simply because they are listening to all these secular musicians who are fond of, propagating their own opportunism. That is not how things work. There has to be a track record. There has to be something I call a CV for success. So you must start from somewhere, and you can start from the point of you doing what you love to do. Let me shock you with this. If you really discover and understand your purpose, you will not get to a point where someone will have to pay you for you to be able to push to fulfill that purpose. You want to defy all odds and ensure that you fulfill that purpose, even if it means for you to make sacrifices. And the sacrifice that we are talking about here is for you not to be paid, for you to do that service. So it's not going to be too much. You won't look at it from the perspective that things are too much. So these are the people, when you look at their CVs, these are the people who have been able to impact their generation meaningfully. An example again is Obama. For as many of us who had read a lot of books written by Obama and all that, he would tell you how he was fully involved, before going deeply into politics. I was fully involved in community services as a lawyer, an MIT graduate, an Harvard graduate. As a lawyer, how he committed his life to community service. Little wonder that till now they are still celebrating in his community, because all the things he did, all the services he did in his community are there. So let's not wait until when the opportunity comes, which may not come for many people, because that's a truthful, painful thing about the situation in Nigeria. The opportunity may not come for everybody, but within the blindness of these scenarios, we can begin to identify within the frame of our purpose what we can do as an individual in order for us to begin to add value and create solutions, so that from there, people will now associate with us and call us on to employ us to come and deliver at a higher level what we have been doing. That is how it works.
Wow, thank you for that, sir. Thank you. So basically, from what I get from what you're saying is, getting involved volunteering can also be part of your personal development in ascertaining your purpose. It's not saying, okay, do everything you do for free, but necessarily there's some things that you see that it's something you're good at and it's lacking in certain areas of the community, and you can actually do it, not at the expense of your own living, but you can actually do it. But so why not do it? You'll find that in the long run, you also develop yourself, and also you find out and meet more people in networking that will actually push you more in ascertaining your purpose. Thank you, sir. Now, you said something about that I really like to question. You said plan to contest in the 2023 elections. Now, we all know that there are two major parties in Nigeria, APC and then the PDP. And they're predominantly dominated by the older people. So how do you, and then it's not easy for a young person to just come in and just want to take over this. I feel like it's almost, I don't use the word impossible, it's next to impossible for someone who is relatively young to become president in Nigeria. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, thank you. I've heard this a lot from different clients each time I had conversation about political postures with people. And I keep telling them, Rome was never built in a day. Mm-hmm. Any institution, any progressive institution, any progressive thing that you can imagine in life was never built in a day. After all, even these major political parties that we are talking about, say, they never emerged all of a sudden, not instantaneous. nothing that will sustain life, nothing that is going to, withstand and, the test of time, that is going to continually deliver, desirable results, cannot be instantaneous. It has to go through the process of what I call, evolution of results. What do I mean by evolution of results? Even our current president, for as many of us who follow the trends of Nigerian politics, how many times did he contested before he eventually won the election? 4 times. 4 times. The current, what's it called? Just look around you. Whatever it is that you think that is succeeding, were not done instantaneously. There were things that people had tried several times and, it didn't work. They reinvent their process, tried again, they reinvented their process, tried again. After a while, there's going to be what I call the evolution of solution. The solution will emerge. One thing that problem cannot withstand is consistency.
Yeah.
So the question is not about encouraging youth to contest in 2023 in order for them to instantaneously win election and become the president of Nigeria. No, but can they start the process of the progressive, consistent, move towards taking over this nation in 2023? The answer to me is yes, and they should consider that, because the fact that you try an attempt in 2023 and you don't get the seat, you try again in 2027, you don't get the seat, you will begin to reinvent, because you are going to, over time begin to understand how the polity of Nigeria is being played, what are the scenarios, just like a project manager, you sit down, you analyze, take lessons learned, reinvent it for the next project, adopt the necessary frameworks in order for you to reapply it into the next election period and all that. So that is how we need to begin to consider our election process. And let me shock you with this. The people who are currently in the majority, as we call the APC, PDP, don't understand these things. These languages, these processes, they are alien to them. And that is the big game that we have over them. They may have the majority now because they are the one controlling the money, they are the one controlling. So imagine APC, PDP telling you that for you to pick up a form, you have to have almost about 25 million naira. How can you tell a youth who is unemployed, but because he's passionate about changing and he has ideas and all that, to come and look for 25 million naira, he will definitely submit himself to a godfather and become even worse than a godfather eventually. So we need to begin to start from where we can converge through this kind of conversation, establish our own advocacy, establish our own forum, and use that platform to project our own move, which they will never understand and they cannot deploy. That is my take.
Wow, thank you, sir. Yes. So, as much as we want many youths to get involved with politics and get involved in the affairs of the country, we all know that for me, I think quality presides quantity. So how do you suggest we get people that are really competent enough? Because you've said it yourself, over a few period of years now, a lot of youths have gotten involved, and I won't say they are exactly competent enough to handle their seats, because if they were, there will be evidence of their competencies. So, like, how do you encourage young people who have these competencies, but for some reason they have no links, they don't want to have any affairs in Nigeria anymore, they want to leave the country, or they want to do something for themselves? How do you get these people involved with the games, with the politics?
Okay, let me start answering from this. It's one of the reasons why we are creating this kind of conversation. We need to have consistent conversation. Let's keep talking to take actions. Of course, we are not just going to talk without taking action. We will have to talk and talk, deliberate, brainstorm, re-strategize, and then lead the frontier of taking action. The other thing is, those people, we know them, because there is no way you have a success track record that you will not be obvious. I just mentioned 2 people out of so many. I have a list of them. Some of them are my friends. We relate. If you go on Instagram, you see them. They have their platforms. They share their success stories and all that. We can begin to find an advocacy platform to converge these brains, to converge these thoughts and bring them together in order for us to forge a way forward. The third thing that I believe that we can do is this. Why do we really even need to be among them in order for us to be able to do things? Because I don't believe that it is just a way or a single channel that we can, go through in order for us to be able to get to the end of the channel. I mean, to the end of the road that we are all desiring to get to. It is not only one solution that can bring about a new Nigeria. There are so many ways we can devise, depending on our creativity and innovation and how much we can think. For instance, APC, PDP, they are still clueless. They are doing their thing. Let them continue. So why can't we bring all these people together? Bring Tom, bring Pobola, bring Peter, bring Bolan, bring Abdulaziz, bring Femi, bring Samuel. I'm just calling our names. In our rights, we are successful in whatever it is that we are doing. Can we all converge on a table where we can now begin to channel all our passion, all our creativity, all our dreams into one funnel, so that by the time we'll see what we are bringing out of that mood, it will be totally different from what these people, and don't forget, they don't even understand technology. They don't understand technology. With technology, we can do so much. We can create a platform online where people can, like a Dropbox, people can drop all the ideas and all that, do what I call synthetic analysis of different strategies in order for us to now begin to highlight what is achievable and what is not achievable. Then from there, you will know people who really have the idea of what is achievable. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with someone and he was just telling me about how to solve the problem of street light. And I was like, wow, people have not been thinking towards this dimension. Do we really need government for us to be able to execute this solution? Absolutely not. But imagine if we solve the problem of street light with this idea in one street in Lagos. Someone somewhere, it might even be an international organization, will call on us and sponsor us to go and replicate the same idea in other rural areas in Nigeria. And then we are being exposed to the limelight and the opportunity surfaces because everybody wants to associate with success. That's the truth, including these clueless people.
Yeah.
Who had been parading around the power of authority in Nigeria. Everybody wants to associate with success, whether knowingly or unknowingly. They want to associate with success, and then we begin to have a larger voice. But we just have to start. We just have to begin from somewhere. And this is where I feel that we can actually start from. Let everybody, no matter where you are, even if you're in Canada, if you're in US, if you're in wherever you are, as long as you still identify yourself to be a Nigerian, can you just find that purpose? Can you just discover yourself and then associate your purpose and what you can deliver to bring about the solution to this problem? I have a friend who's currently working with Google. About 5 years ago, when he was doing his research work in MIT, he came up with an app, they call it Solar Cobble, that will solve the nagging problem in electricity. And then he sent him down. A lot of people, interviewed him, and they just threw off the idea. What the guy did eventually was he set up a solar energy company, and today, after 5 years, they are still thriving, delivering solar power solution to people, also different households, at one of the cheapest prices in Nigeria. So these are things you can't just continue to talk about the problem without doing something. You just have to do something against all odds. Begin to do something with the capability, with the opportunity. No matter how minute that opportunity or the resources may be, you can still do something and affect, even if it's going to be a single life, it will become a chain reaction in the long run. When you and all the people who are on this platform are doing the same thing, it becomes a chain reaction. And that is how we can get the solution.
Well said. Well said, sir. Thank you so much.